The Masculine Mongoose, Part 2. To her dying day, reporter Terry Green would remember the look on Bruce Kent's face as the assassin stepped out of the crowd, holding the gun. He just nailed it perfectly. The look of shock, of horror, the way he reacted almost as slowly as a normal human, how he instinctively raised his arms to protect his face. It was incredible acting, every bit as good as you'd expect from the masculine mongoose himself. The assassin managed to fire 3 times into Bruce Kent's chest before a completely nonplussed police officer managed a tackle. Bruce Kent fell to the ground and didn't move.
"I did it!"
shrieked the lunatic, even as he was being slammed to the ground and cuffed.
"I did it. I proved who Bruce Kent really is. They may take me away, but they'll always remember the smart guy with a gun as the man who finally proved it. Let's see you get out of this one, Mongoose."
"Yeah,"
Green said under her breath, not loudly enough to be picked up by the cell phone she was frantically using to record everything.
"Thanks for letting the world know this important fact of which we were all unaware, asshole."
She glanced over again at where Bruce Kent was lying motionless, right by the podium where he'd been speaking, in the middle of the public park where the charity event was being held. In the back of Green's mind, a tiny note of nervousness registered itself for the first time. But no. If that had been a body double, there would have been blood, right? Or did gunshot wounds not always bleed in real life the way they did in movies? Then Bruce Kent sat up, his face apparently twisted in pain.
"Ow!"
he said quietly.
"Ow!"
shrieked the smartass on the ground.
"Ow, my ass. Real human beings don't say ow after somebody shoots them in the chest, they die."
"Well, unless they're wearing a bulletproof undershirt,"
Bruce Kent said.
"in which case they'll just have some bruises and possibly a broken rib. Ow, ow, ow."
Terry Green let out a single choke of laughter, then stopped her voice before she ruined her priceless video.
"Fuck you,"
yelled the smartass.
"You're wearing a bulletproof undershirt, huh? Roll up your shirt and show us."
Bruce Kent unbuttoned his newly perforated shirt, accompanied by some very realistic winces, and showed them the silky dark gray material underneath. He then reached up to pluck off one flattened bullet to show that the dark fabric, and not just the skin below, was unpenetrated.
"How the hell?"
one of the bystanders said out loud. Somebody else began to giggle hysterically.
"No,"
the smartass said, and then his voice rose to a scream as he was led away.
No, 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 this can't be happening."
I am, of course, aware, as is, the mongoose himself, that many people think I'm, the goose. Hence I often wear, a bulletproof undershirt that one of the mongoose's, inventive friends provided him to give to me.
"You didn't get wind of this in advance, did you?"
said a more senior-looking police officer who jogged up to the location, giving him a stern look.
"Because even with you there, having a lunatic fire a gun in public does not seem safe."
I solemnly promise you, Officer that I did not, in fact, have any idea this was going to happen today. Honestly.
Terry believed him, of course, but she had to muffle another snort of laughter at the way he was promising honesty and simultaneously pretending to have a broken rib.
"Okay,"
the officer said.
"but then how?"
How what, officer? I merely happened to, be wearing a bulletproof undershirt, the way anyone often would in my, peculiar situation where so many people believe I am the masculine mongoose, but in fact I am not.
There was a pregnant silence as everyone who'd been there stared at Bruce Kent in dawning confusion. Terry only then realized how impossible the situation was, even by superhero standards. How could the masculine mongoose have possibly pulled that off? There'd been dozens of people watching this. They shouldn't have all looked away from him simultaneously, and even his speed shouldn't have been fast enough to fly away, change into a bulletproof undershirt, and come back, literally in the middle of somebody blinking. The senior-seeming police officer shook her head in defeat.
"Whatever you say, sir,"
she said. Eventually, Bruce Kent had staggered off to his limo, wincing the while, because of course the man couldn't have called an ambulance, but who cared about realism there? He left behind an increasingly huge crowd of people arguing about what exactly had just occurred.
Okay,
Somebody said.
maybe he grabbed the bullets with his hands, flattened them, poked a hole in his shirt, but not his undershirt, using his fingers.
That didn't look like a normal undershirt, though.
Somebody else said skeptically.
How would he have made his undershirt look like that? Are you going to tell me he knitted the whole thing out of pocket lint too fast for us to notice?
Do you know he can't? It's always been speculated that he's hiding some of his abilities. Maybe one of those abilities is ultra-speed lint control. Or he used thermokinesis to scorch the fabric a darker color as he was pulling his shirt up.
Now that's just plain ridiculous. Way more likely is that this Bruce Kent was a body double, and the body double was wearing a bulletproof undershirt for the obvious reason.
Do you think that's what actually...
In real life? Of course not. You can't go thinking. Maybe the mongoose has a hidden power, or maybe that Bruce Kent was a body double every time he does something like this. The goose did something clever but ordinary that we haven't figured out, that's all.
Sometimes I can't help but wonder if Bruce Kent secretly is a normal human,
said another party.
I don't see how somebody could pull all the stuff he's pulled if they were just a superhero.
The masculine mongoose certainly was amazing.